Alright, what is good? It's your boy Shimmy back with another video. Yes, I'm bringing you more bangers. It's straight fourth quarter pressure from here. Today we got Noragami. No long talks, lock the fuck in. Now let's get into it. Boom, we start with this girl sitting in class and she hears people talking about her. They're like, ain't that the girl who needs special treatment? Ain't she get 20% on her last exam? And slowly these eyes start appearing all over class. Then this big ass fish appears outside. Everybody looks at the girl and says, "You a waste of space." She sees the phantom and starts praying. She says, "Anyone, Luffy, LeBron, God, please help me." Then Yato flicks a coin. He says, "Shorty, don't even worry, I heard your call. I am here." Now the girl beside him is like, ain't that phantom a little large? Do they have phantom Ozempic? But it's actually exam season, so the kids are stressed, and that attracts bigger phantoms. He says, "Tomoe, let's do this." And he jumps down and he says, "Come." And Shorty transforms. He steps on its head and gives it some rude kicks, then a dagger flies in his hand. He goes upside down and says, "I alone am the godly one." Then he goes down, cuts the phantom all over, aura farms, and then kills it. He's still aura farming, but Tomoe says, "Yo, Yato, let me out of here, bro." She smells herself and she's like, "You smell like shit." But she goes to him and she says, "I'ma keep it a buck with you. I'm quitting being your regalia." Quit? It's only been like 3 months. But she says, "I can't take it. I don't want to be with a minor god who don't even have a shrine." And the shorty starts bawling. Damn, dog, like how bad was it? He says fine and he releases her. Shorty didn't even hand in her 2 weeks notice. That's crazy. She calls him a bum and then she leaves. Now it's the next day and he's like, shit, I need to find another regalia. I can't do nothing without one. But then he gets a call for a job and he hears that my lord has gone missing. It's actually just like a cat. We cut to this girl and she's walking with her friends and they see the sign from my lord. At the same time, Yato's shouting, looking for him. But she walks by and she actually sees him. Yato says, "Oh, there he is," and my lord is in the streets. So he runs in to save it, but Truck-kun's cousin, Bus-kun, is coming straight for him, and this Hiyori girl pushes him out the way. They get to the other side and she's like, "You could have died, what is wrong with you?" But he says, and then looks over and it's her body on the ground. Next, we see her in a hospital and she wakes up. She's like, "What about the other guy who was there?" "Other guy? There wasn't no one else there, you probably still recovering." Now it's nighttime and she's hearing a bunch of noises, she can't fall asleep. Then all we see is Yato under her covers. He says, "So you can hear the voices of the far shore, eh?" She runs away and says, "Who the hell are you?" "Me? Shit, I'm a god." And Shorty picks up her phone, she's about to call the police. But he says, no, like I'm dead ass a god. I'm the Yato god. "I ain't never heard of you before." He goes and tells her this place is swarming with them tonight. It's gonna be a storm. "Hey, what's your name?" She says Hiyori and the man leaves out the window. Now we cut to Yato and he's out here trying to find my lord. And the cat comes running straight for him. But all he hears behind him is "smells nice" and a phantom pulls up with all these eyes. He says, "I can't even fight them right now. There's too much of them and I have no regalia." So he starts running away. But then he runs into a phantom frog. He gives it a rude kick, but that don't do nothing to it. The man runs in, he's about to call his regalia, but he forgot she quit. He's about to get cooked, but Hiyori comes in last minute and saves him. They're both dodging the phantom's attacks, and she goes in, remembers what she learned from MMA, and kicks it in the mouth. With that, Yato takes her and runs away. She says, "I got bare questions for you, boy." He tells her, "Just so you know, your soul slipped out of your body. That's your body over there." She falls and goes back into her body and she wakes up. She says, "Hold on, what's going on with me?" He tells her, "You know what? It must have been the accident. Right now you're in between life and death. You're alive, but you're also a phantom, no Danny." She's like, "Hold on, can you help me go back then?" "I mean, I can, but I don't do shit for free. I need 5,000? I don't have that kind of money." "Nah, I just need 5 yen coins," which actually comes out to like 3 cents US, which is crazy. She gives it to him and he says, "Bet, I got you." Bro's working like he's back in the 1800s. Now we cut to Hiyori at school and she falls asleep again, but she goes into her phantom form. She's enjoying life, jumping everywhere, and she just sees these. Yeah, what type of phantom is that? The Loch Ness Monster? But phantoms can be anywhere. In the skies, the shadows, even the casinos, which is crazy, that's too far. But only children and animals can really see them, and the people who live between life and death. She's thinking, she's like, hold on, why hasn't this god helped me out yet? So she goes and links him. She says, "Are you really a god?" "Yeah, shorty." He tells her he's different. He's a god of war, born from a wish. Hold on, Kratos? But he tells her, you gotta be careful. They'll start coming after you too. They'll try to consume your soul, and once they do that, they'll possess you and make you do whatever they want. They might even make you hit the Dougie, who knows? Okay, so then fix me. Yato says, I can't really do shit until I find a new regalia. So she goes around asking hella phantoms to see if they want to be Yato's regalia. She calls him and says, yo, I think I found one for you. So he teleports straight to her. He's like, shorty, what are you talking about? You can't just find a regalia. Then he opens his eyes and just sees this. That ain't no regalia. So they start sprinting for their lives. He says, that ain't no regalia, that's just a regular phantom. But there's a problem. Her body is still back there. It lunges at her, but she dodges and lures it in the air. She's about to attack it, but Yato grabs her and he gets bit, but he kicks the leg. Now, with that, they run away again. We look at his hand and it's purple. It's been cursed. It can only go away if it's exorcised or cleansed. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, broski, you might have to shanks yourself. He tells her, listen, that's not a tail you got there. That's a lifeline. If it gets cut off, you die. Then the spider finds them and starts chasing them again. So they run to get away and they're on top of these houses. He still can't do anything, but then he spots a spear. He says, you'll do. He kicks the spider, goes to the spear and says, I grant you a place to be. I use my life to make you my regalia. Your name is Yuki, come forth. And we just see it turn into a beam of light and go straight into Yato's hand. It's a katana. Yato sees his past and the spider just eats him. Inside, Yato opens his eyes. He says, I'm the blood Yato god. And he uses rend and cuts it up bad. He falls to the ground and he was crying. Now they all go back to the shrine and he heals his arm and his sword transforms into a Ute. Yato says, I've summoned you from the far shore, you're my Kili. And Hiyori gives him a scarf. Now it's the next day and they're going through the garbage to find him clothes and he's feeding him fish he got from a pond. Nah man, this is when it's time to go get a job at McDonald's. This is worse than struggling. Yuki's like, hold on, is this what being a regalia is about? Eating trash and sleeping outside? We're just homeless. He goes to Yato, he's like, are you sure you're a god? Yato says, fine, I'll show you what I can do. And the man brings Hiyori to this restaurant so she can pay for them to eat food. Like, okay. But we also learn regular people can't see them. They kind of just blend in unless they interact with the regular people. Now they're outside and Hiyori asks, so what did you do before you became a regalia? He doesn't remember anything. All he remembers is becoming a sword. Then Yato feels something at the back of his neck. Anytime Yuki thinks of something dirty, Yato feels it. I can't lie, that would actually be horrible. Then Yato gets a call for a job, so he teleports there. They get to this shrine, and then one by one, these people start appearing all around them. He says, who the f y'all? If you're from the casino, I'm not paying you back. But it's actually Tenjin, the god of learning, and this is his shrine. And we learn all these gyal are his regalia? How greedy. He actually called Yato here to do a job for him. And the girl who's gonna show him where the job is Mayu, his old regalia. No, this is foul. This is like seeing your ex with an NBA player. I'd be sick to my stomach.
Sick to my stomach, fam.
He says, twin, if you do a good job, I can even make you a franchise owner for me. Then we learned someone offered a dark wish plaque on the wall, and because of it, 2 people already died. And this area gets storms of phantoms often. They make people walk in front of the trains. That's actually wild. Yato says, yo, just leave them. If they want to die, that means they're already possessed. It makes no difference. Hiyori's like, hold on, brokey. Ain't this your job to save people? This is why you're gonna be broke forever.
You stink and you ugly and you broke, monkey.
And she jumps away and she says, fine, I'm gonna take care of them myself. She sees a phantom on this guy's shoulder, goes down and gives it a rude kick. She's like, alright, bet, I can really do this. I'm gonna pack all them up. But then more phantoms start coming and they surround her. They grab her and push her on the tracks and even hold her down. They're really trying to make Train Kun take her out. But then last minute, Yato cuts them and saves her. They hop on the train and he's like, yo, Yuki, this is where the real work starts. And the phantoms show up right beside this guy. He's like, finals are just too hard, man. I want to be on a yacht with 50 bad bitches. And this armed phantom says, don't worry, just come this way. It's all over here. He starts walking over the barrier. So Yato runs, jumps off and says, I am the Yato god. Hold this. And he cuts the hand, killing the phantom. But this Yuki guy actually cuts so well, he's even destroying the area too. Now it's nighttime and he tells Yukine, you did good, even though it was your first time. And they go to sleep, but some little girl is there watching them. Now it's the next day and Yato says, there's someone I want you to meet. They walk down the street and some gal hugs him, and apparently that's his girlfriend. But the man is just here getting money from her too. Like, yeah, I'm trying to get like Yato for real. But this guy comes out of nowhere and kicks him. We learn she's one of the 7 gods of fortune and this guy is her Regalia. She goes and tells Yuki, hey, be careful, I heard Yato can be a terrifying god sometimes. Now, Yato gets a call for another job and we cut to this guy who's at the top of this building. He's ready to end it all. Then this Yato guy teleports there and hits him off? Nah, like what is wrong with this guy? Now while they're falling, Yato goes to him. He's like, homie, wagwan, why are you trying to end it? We learn his company went bankrupt, but he also met this gal and everything went to shit since they got together. And the girl turns out to be Kofuku, and she's actually the god of poverty. This is why you always gotta do your background checks, because if you found out your gal is giving out money to a next guy, that's a no bueno. So Yato tells him to forget about her and Yukine severs his ties, and he goes on with life. That's a lesson though, somebody's gal will really ruin your life. You just gotta sever the tie. Now, they're all getting ready to leave and Hiyori goes up to Kofuku. She says, so what'd you mean about Yato's a scary god before? Oh, that? Yeah. Basically, he packed up a regalia in the past, put it in the dirt 6 feet under. But you ain't hear that from me. We go in the past and we see Yato on a battlefield killing left and right. Now, Yukine's chilling alone and then this little girl pulls up on him again. She says, you have nice eyes. And we see her with hella marks on her. Yato's like, Nora, what do you want? She says, nah, call me by the name you gave me. And we learn she's also Yato's Regalia. She says, I'll be waiting till you call my name. And she leaves. Now Yato's trying to teach Yukine how to make a borderline, which is essentially just making a line that blocks phantoms from crossing over. And Yukine made this big ass one on his first try. Hiyori says, so that girl, she was your Regalia? And the man says, she's my friend with benefits. Like, I wish I was lying, but he actually said that word for word. Hiyori's like, nah, you're gonna ruin Yukine. And she takes him to live with her. And her crib is actually fat. She gives him her older brother's room to sleep in, but her parents come home and this Yato guy is with them too. Now, Yukine's about to do some crazy shit to Hiyori, but Yato can feel he's gonna do that shit, so he pulls up too. Hey, what was you about to do, boy? Now they both go out the room, and Yato says, listen, I know what you're trying to do, leave that shorty alone. But Yuki gets pissed and says, you already got another Regalia, you don't need me. And he runs away. Now we look in the sky and we see this long-haired shorty on a lion. Then she pulls out the switch and cooks this phantom. She's going down this building and a phantom goes right above her, but she gives it a rude whip, killing it. Back to Yukine, he's alone at night and he sees this little girl. She says, can you help me? I was waiting for my mom. But this thing with a bunch of eyes was chasing me. But her legs are see-through. Hold on, is she dead? Yuki says, don't worry, I'll stay with you. And they're just sitting on this bench waiting. He says, I'll be real with you, your mom ain't coming. And the little girl just gets up and starts walking away. But the eyes start to appear. Hiyori comes and she's like, oh shit, I found you. But the monsters say, poor girl, come play with us. Yuki goes in quick and draws a borderline to save her. And he says, it's all blessed now. But the little girl says, smells nice, and her eyes change. And Yuki's borderline drops. They're in complete darkness. Luckily, Yato comes in and saves them both. Yuki's like, listen, you gotta save that little girl. So Yato goes in, says, hold this dirty slash. Yukine's like, hold on, you're about to kill it? Stop. But Yato cuts it. Hey, you're supposed to save her. We can't save her, she's already past that, and he gets punched away. He tells him, a soul that's been possessed is cooked, we have to kill her. Yato says rend and finally ends it. But ending that little girl really traumatized Yuki. Now we cut to this place and someone says, we have sightings on Yato slaying a phantom. And the blonde girl says, I bet. Now after that, Yuki's in his rebellious phase. He's knocking over food that Hiyori made him. He goes to the mall, steals a skateboard. But Yato can feel when he's doing something bad. So he pulls up on him. He says, hey, where'd you get this from, boy? Oh, Hiyori bought it for me. You sure? Then Hiyori shows up. Yo, Hiyori, did you buy this for him? She says, yeah, I bought it for him. But Yato already knows they're capping. Then the girl with the lion from earlier pulls up and she tries to whip them. Yato pushes Yuki and says, I can't lie, we're in trouble right now. Shorty says, I finally found you, god of calamity. And her name is Bishamon and she's the strongest god of war he knows. She wants her revenge. Yukine's like, okay, if she's after you, then we're blessed, no? Yato says, nah, she ain't letting you survive either. Shorty goes to hit him, but he dodges and starts running. She's chasing him and her Regalia is like, he's about 2 kilometers away. and they go to do a pincer attack. He hides in this alleyway and we learn everything Bishamon is wearing is a regalia. I can't lie, the fit is very hard. He goes out ready to fight and she leaps in, giving him a whip. She grabs him and flings him around, then pulls out the switched regalia and fires 2 shots, but he cuts one and dodges the other one, and then even hits her whip. She gets pissed, goes in close and says, I ain't gonna let you kill another one of my regalias. He says, you've been stalking me for years. Like, brother, that's not a bad thing. Let me get stalked then. But she pulls out another switch and shoots him. Now Hiyori runs all the way to Kofuku and says, you gotta help, Bishamon is attacking Yato. She's like, oh, she's still after him? I mean, fair's for what he did. And we learn Yato killed Bishamon's regalia. But after some more back and forth, she says, fine, I'll help you out. Back to Yato, he's in this forest and Yuki says, why'd you kill that girl's regalia? Because I wanted to. What, so you gonna kill me too if I mess up? And they just start arguing, but Bishamon pulls up on them with this big ass sword. What in the berserk is going on right now? She says, you got any last words? And she goes straight for Yato. But then Kofuku says, Yato, I found you. And Daikoku transforms into a fan. She says, hey, you two stop fighting, and she blasts the ground and makes a storm of phantoms. The lion ain't done though, it goes and bites Yato, but Nora comes out of nowhere and says, know your place, cat, and she restrains him. Yato gets away and cuts his eye. Now that there's a vent open, Bishamon decides to retreat, and she says, don't get any more blight, and the back of his neck is starting to look worse. We go to the next day and Yuki goes to see Tenjin. Bro's like, I'd like to work for you, can I get a job? Tenjin's like, did something happen? Oh, he's just broke and a bum, so I should work for someone else. Tenjin tells him, I would, but if I used you right now, you would become a Nora. We cut to Yato and he's trying to purify his blight, but it's not working. Then Nora shows up again. She says, you know you can use me, right? I've been here sitting watching all this time and you still ain't use me? Forget about that little boy. I'm not gonna lie, that was actually a level 10 manipulation tactic. You just can't let it get to you. We move to Hiyori and she's out here looking all around for Yuki. She gets to this rooftop and then she runs into Kazuma. He's like, hold on, you can see us? She tries to run, but he uses restraint on her. Bishamon shows up and she says, have you found the next phantom? He's like, nah, but we've cleared this area, and they leave, so basically bro is helping her. He says, I wouldn't meddle anymore if I was you, but he tells her that regalia Yato has needs to be disposed of. Damn. Because if Yuki doesn't change his ways, Yato will die. But this Yuki guy is actually turning into a horrible. They have a job to work at this grocery store, and the man steals a tip jar from a grocery store, like no shame. Then he just runs away. Now he's sitting all alone, and then Nora pulls up on him. You worthless boy, you shouldn't even be around here. Yato and Hiyori show up and she says, Yato, use me like how you used to use me before. But he takes Yuki instead, goes to defeat this phantom and he cuts it. But Yuki's gone dull on him, so that attack barely did shit. And this Nora girl is still waiting with her hand out. Yato gets hit to the ground by the phantom and it's looking grim, but he's not going out like that. He puts purification water on his blade and cuts the phantom, taking it out. Then someone else appears beside Nora? Who the hell is that? Now for their next job, they go to this school to help out this kid who's getting bullied, and Yukine crashes out on him saying, don't compare me to that bum. So he goes into class and he's thinking, he's like, damn, this is what my life could have been if I ain't died. We cut to Bishamon and she pulls up on Kofuku, and they basically came here to find out where the next vents will open. So Kofuku draws on this map to where she thinks they'll be, but they could also just be showing up because of her luck. Bishamon says, so you close with Yato, eh? How often you see him? Oh, I see him sometimes. You better not be trying to hide him from me though, eh? Nah, I wouldn't do that, but she says, if anything happens to Yato, prepare for a storm? That's hard, I can't lie. And then they leave. Back to Yuki, he starts crashing out. He's destroying windows and Yato's condition is getting worse. Yuki sees Hiyori carrying him and he's like, what's going on? Every time you do some dumb shit, Yato gets blighted and she carries him all the way to Kofuku's asking for help. But Daikoku puts a borderline up and says only you can come in. Basically, they have to perform a ceremony on him to get rid of the blight, and they need at least 3 regalia to do it. Daikoku goes outside and says, hey boy, moving in from there and I'll kill you. He goes to Tenjin, asks for help, and Mayu agrees to help with the ceremony. He's asking more people, but everyone else says no. Hiyori last second goes and asks Kazuma, and he agrees to do it too. Kazuma arrives and he tells Yato, you gotta banish Yukine. He doesn't want to do it, that's his real life killie. They all go asking Yuki, what the hell did you do? But he's not listening. So Daikoku says, okay, if you ain't do shit, take your shirt off. And on his back, there's just these eyes everywhere. They say, y'all ready? And they put him in a barrier. They tell him to confess, but he's still not listening. He's crashing out and even grows wings. And his name is about to disappear off his body. He's about to turn into a true phantom. But Hiyori says, don't let yourself get taken. And Yato calls out to him. He says, live as a person. And then he finally starts to apologize for everything. Stealing, looking at Gyal, everything. And with that, they all hug it out. Now it's the next day and they all go to Tenjin's place to tell him thank you. But one of his regalias is gone and they kicked her out because she stung her master. And the reason she did that is because what Yukine had is contagious. So they got her the hell out of there. Yato asked Tenjin, so you know about Hiyori, right? How can I fix her and turn her back normal? And bro says, why don't you just try cutting your tie off with her? That might be able to work. Now it's nighttime. Yato and Yukine are taking out these phantoms, but more of them keep showing up. At the same time, someone is watching him fight. That's Yato? He ain't no real god of calamity. At the same time, Hiyori goes to a festival with her friends, but she can sense Yato's nearby. So she leaves her body and goes looking for him, but she don't find him, she finds Nora. Hey, how you been? You seen Yato anywhere? Don't talk to me, you lowly phantom. She's pissed because Hiyori keeps getting in the way of her plans. So she sends these dogs after her. They run up the wall to attack her, but she jumps away. Why are you attacking me? Cause I don't like you, shorty. And this is exactly why you don't do friends with benefits. The Gyal will be crazy. Now Yato and Yukine are still trying to fight these phantoms. They're like, some ain't right here. Why do they keep coming? Back to Hiyori, she's running, but she gets cornered. Luckily last second though, the sun comes up and they all go away. But Nora appears in front of her. You scared, eh? Well, it's about to get even scarier, and we learn the god of calamity, Rabou, just woke up. And he's come to kill Yato. Listen, Yato's grown weak because of you. So stop existing, and she touches her face. Now back to Yato, he's surrounded, but he says, let's do this. I'm Yato God, and he cuts them all up with one slash. Even Aura farms that last kill. But we learn this Rabou guy was the one who sent out the phantoms. And he says, hold on, that's all? Now they end up linking up with Hiyori, and Yato's like, what are you doing out here? You trying to get food or something? And she's like, do I know you? Now we go in the past and we just see Yato and Rabou destroying all these people. They even turn the water red. And the man is just reminiscing on it like his prime 2016. But someone was watching him kill people. So he calls Nora and he goes and ends him too. Back to Hiyori, she only remembers Yukine. They try to jog her memory, but she says, I gotta go home. Now Yato's walking home and Nora appears. I should have known it was you. You did this, didn't you, ho? Yeah, I stole all her memories. And again, this is why you gotta be careful with these gyal. And she has her memories in this little marble. Bro, what are you doing this for? This ain't even funny. I was just hoping you'd visit us. Then she transforms and Rabou grabs her. Hold on, you're alive? It's been a minute, twin. What the hell is that shit you got on your head though? This is basically the new your ex gets to try to make you jealous. He comes down, goes straight for Yato. They fight and the man spins his sword, stabs the ground and makes these water dragons come out. Why can't Yukine do that? Yato dodges and blocks, but now they're legging it. He goes right back to attack Rabou, but the man just smiles. It was a water clone jutsu. He comes down and attacks again. What happened to you? He was a real dog before. Go back to your true self. Yato's about to change, but Yukine snaps him out of it. Yato parries and they go at it. We cut to Bishamon and there's phantoms everywhere. She's trying to take them out, but there's actually too much. Back to the fight. Yato gets hit away, but Yukine's actually hurt. He has to transform back. Rabou says, you're right. This is not the dog I remembered. Then Nora transforms back too. Yato, if you can beat Rabou, I'll give Hiyori's memories back. And they leave. Yeah, I can't lie, they're really like that. Now they go back to Kofuku's place and they're getting stitched up. We learn Rabou was originally a human who did all the dirty work for people. But after he died, people feared him and he became a god of calamity. I'm not gonna lie, having mans fear you enough to become a god is pretty crazy. And for him, whatever request he got, as long as it was killing, he was gonna do it. Everybody was dying. Yato goes to meet with Tenjin and he tells him, I told you before, you got that girl all wrapped up in this. Just cut your ties with her, it might really save her this time. And Yato just walks away. Now he's walking and he meets Nora again and she says, you sure you got time to be doing nothing right now? She might just start losing more memories. And she actually does start losing them. This is actually foul. She looks at Yuki and she's like, Lil Yu, is this yours? So she's officially forgot Yuki too. Back to Nora and Yato. Nora tells him, if you don't come fight us soon, she'll be gone. Now, they go visit her one last time and they say, we're definitely gonna get your memories back. We're about to go pack up those guys right now. And they teleport away, but she grabs on and comes with them. We cut to Rabou and he's at his shrine and this shit is deserted. But at least he has a shrine though. Yato does not have shit. He says, we were gods of calamity. Ain't that right, Yato? Then we just see across the bridge, Yato and Amanda appear. They're like, Hiyori, why are you here? And Nora's like, no way you brought that bitch here too. Yeah, this really some jealous ex-girlfriend shit. Rabou says, welcome to my place. You fuck with it? Yato tells Hiyori to run and they both go in fighting. Yato kicks him and they keep going at it, but they get Rabou cornered. Yuki's like, alright, pack him up now. So they go to hit him, but he says, y'all boys too weak, and blasts them away. Rabou ain't done yet though. He sends water straight at him and puts him in this water bubble. He can't breathe and he can't break free either. Rabou says, nah, this ain't the god of calamity I know. It's looking grim, but Hiyori shows up and pulls him out luckily. But Rabou's pissed. He's like, he has friends and shit? That ain't the man I know. So they go and clash again and bro says, where is the I know? That's who I want to fight. Yato goes in and he dodges. Rabou says, fine, I know how to make him come. And he goes to Hiyori and he's about to end her. Yato throws his sword last minute and deflects it. He grabs Hiyori and runs and these two are vexed. Back outside, Bad Girl Bishamon is packing up these phantoms, but they still keep coming. We cut to Yato and he hides behind this boulder with them. Yukine's like, what are we about to do? That man is too strong. Listen, you're gonna take Hiyori and you're gonna run away. I'm the one Rabou wants. You gonna fight with Yukine Regalia. And then he just appears above them. He holds up this ball with Hiyori's memory. He says, you want this? Go fetch that. And he throws it. Yato goes to grab it before it falls in the water and the man just cuts it. Nah, he's actually evil for that. Hiyori just falls to the ground and bro's like, forget about her, she's useless. Yato says, be quiet, and instantly cuts the man's chest, then kicks him into a wall. Rabou's like, he's finally back. Finally! Then we just see Yato walking him down. They go at it again and Yato's on the offensive. They're in a whole vortex fighting, but this Yato guy is actually vexed. The man gives him a rude cut on his shoulder. Rabou smiles and he says, this brings back memories when we were demons. I've been waiting for a moment for my wish to be granted. Then he blasts Yato away. He says, my name is Rabou. I make myself a spirit vessel and all these spirits come down and go into his eye. What is wrong with this guy? Yato's like, are you dumb? You really merge with phantoms? But they go at it again, fighting in the air. They're launching serious attacks, but a boulder is about to go land and hit Hiyori. So Yato goes with the quickness to try to save her. But this Rabou guy's an actual demon. The man just blasts straight at her. But luckily Yato got there in time and he covered her from turning into Obito. Then somehow, some way, Hiyori regains her memory of Yato. Nora's like, how the hell did she break free? Is this plot armor? What's going on? Rabou don't care though. He pulls her by the leg and grabs her. You really ain't gonna turn back to how you were? But he's living in the past. He's not living in the present no more. Rabou says, it's all your fault, little girl. I'ma sacrifice you. But Yato locks in, sends a Getsuga Tensho, and it cuts Rabou. Hiyori runs to Yato and says, can we go home already? He says, I bet. Let me cook this you. They both go in, do one final attack, and Rabou falls to the ground and his mask breaks. He's on the ground. He says, people will always loathe, fear, and hate, and then forget about us. But when I woke up after 500 years, I wanted to be eliminated not by anyone, but by my dog, my killie Yato. He says, I'm going on first, and he just dies. Damn, that was low-key sad. The man was really just stuck in the past. He ain't know how to adjust to life. It's just PTSD. But with that, the sky clears and the day is saved. Nora says, damn, that was a failure. Guess I gotta go talk to father? Blood clot, who is father? Now Yato finally goes up to Hiyori. He says, you know what? I think it's best if I cut ties with you. She says, hell no, ain't cutting no ties. Alright, that's all for this episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know how you felt about Noragami. Let me know if you want to see a season 2, because there is a season 2 that I might just have to do. If you want to see that, I could even do it before next year, to be honest. Get that done in like a week or two. But yeah, let me know if you want to see that. If you enjoyed
Noragami, and yeah, we've been busting out this long form content, second 30-minute video on this channel. Let me know how y'all are feeling about that too. You want the long video still? And yeah, we're gonna keep going strong. Last week we had Stranger Things on the second channel. Go check that out if you haven't. It was the start of season 5. Go check that out. We will be doing season 5 part 2, and we will be doing the finale for season 5 as well. Also, we did Black Clover last week, so go check that one out too. Let me know how y'all feeling. And yeah, so it's looking like tomorrow we're gonna have One Punch, because why not? We're gonna bust out another One Punch. Heard the animation's getting better, so we're there. And then next week it's looking like we're gonna have Fallout, second channel, and we'll probably have Slime, Reincarnated as a Slime, season 1. So yeah, be on the lookout for those. Working on those right now, and yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Appreciate all the love, all the support. We're gonna keep grinding, keep growing. We're never stopping. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. Peace.